Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching Boom, the Political Vigilante, making Gotham great again, folks. Great way to support the show is to go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood, where you can do what Lauren D'Alessandro is doing at the $5 submit a topic level. She has been submitting to this program for several years. Lauren, thank you so much. And to all the Patreon supporters that make this program possible, I cannot do it without Patreon supporters such as you for two reasons. One, the obvious, the financial, but two, you are all political vigilantes. I'm just one guy in his apartment. I don't have a research team. So you bring us stories like this. Never before have I seen so much fake unemployment and jobs data by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, Labor Department nails it. By Wolf Richter. The link will be in the show notes for the full article. Read it, the details of it. But the Bureau, the BLS basically has put out this report trying to tell us that, oh, well, there's more jobs happening. It's just there's no way it's true. So, because the Labor Department today, people on state and federal unemployment insurance jumped to 31.5 million. The worst ever. Here's just a real basic chart. So the red is federal, the blue is state. Week 15 of the collapse of the U.S. labor market, total continued claims, state and federal. Millions not seasonally adjusted, right? So this is where we're at. This is obviously right before the pandemic. And look how much it shot up. And there's now even more federal, right? Because this in here, June is really when like folks such as myself, the gig workers, we all started to apply because we were all turned down. Self-employed gig workers, freelancers such as myself and many of you, I was turned down in here and I didn't get it till June 13th is when I qualified. It's when they actually June 5th is when I received my first unemployment. So 31.5 million. This is the worst ever. This is the worst ever. So there's just a delineation here. Okay, this is from the Labor Department. So this is from the Labor Department, but the Bureau of Labor Statistics underreported unemployment by 13.7 million based on data from the Labor Department. What's happening is infuriating. Read and cringe. That's basically leading into that whole article. So this is insane. They're just trying to cook the books. It's like when they do that crap with like, oh, the stock market's surging. Remember? Like the week after the George Floyd protests, oh, the stock market went up. What? Oh, good. Anyone who invested in rubber bullets and tear gas and armored police vehicles, I guess that stock went up. Like, stock market's doing great even before COVID. So let's just go into this. Even before COVID, this statistic here didn't keep track of the 60% of the population that didn't even have $500 to $1,000 in savings. So all these people were just on the bubble. And then this starts. Oh, but the job market looked good. Oh, the stock market. Like, the economy is not the stock market. The stock market is not the economy. All the stock market does is tell you how good the 1% are doing. That's all it does. 85% of all stocks are owned by the 1%. Incredibly, given the record number of unemployment insurance recipients, the Bureau of Labor Statistics dared to claim that the number of unemployment fell by 3.2 million in June to 17.8 million. It's after having already incredibly fallen by 2.1 million in May, making it a 5.3 million decline over 2 months. There's no way. So what this article is doing is basically saying the Bureau of Labor Statistics is going against this very obvious hard data, right? From the Labor Department. We know how many people are applying for unemployment. We know that. The number keeps going up and keeps going up and keeps going up. So you can't sit there and say, oh, unemployment's falling. No. So what happens in like a week or so when unemployment ends. I mean, they're supposed to be fighting to do some new stimulus plan, but of course Pelosi's blocking it, and all the other idiots, McConnell, Pelosi, and all the other maggots from both rat-faced parties that lie to both of us on a daily basis. No, this party's better than that party. You're right. Heroin is better than meth. No, meth is better than heroin. Let's debate on that. That's what debating between the two is. The Republicans better than the Democrats. Tell me why crystal meth is better than heroin, or then tell me why heroin's better than crystal meth. It's great. Right. The BLS claims to have obtained these numbers through its surveys of households. Oh, so rather than just the Labor Bureau statistics, just the hard data of, we know every state is reporting how many people have opened an unemployment claims. That's hard data that we know. Every state can give you that data. We're just going to ask households. Which households are they asking? Hey, there we go. Jeff Bezos. They probably called all of his 4 houses, and he's like, hey, employment's doing great. You know, is that what they're like? All these people are working at grocery stores and Amazon. He's made $30-40 billion during this pandemic, on top of his $158 billion that he already has. Right? Look at all these homes. That's a new $150 million home he bought in Beverly Hills. We should be protesting these places, folks. Right? Given that a record 31.5 million people were actually receiving state and federal unemployment insurance benefits in the latest week, and that this record number of people were actually unemployed, as per the Labor Department, the BLS is now underreporting unemployment by at least 13.7 million people. Wow. Who's doing this? The Shadow app? Is that who's... Did Buttigieg come in and help them out with this? This sounds like some Shadow app math. This sounds like some Democratic primary math. Like, unreal. And this is why you can't trust either of these filthy parties. Trump is a complete idiot who has mishandled this pandemic every way possible. And then the shithead Democrats just go along with it. We should have Medicare for all right now. We should have UBI. We should have rent cancellation. Instead, in the first CARES Act, we gave $4.25 trillion to banks and Wall Street. Big corporations have gotten PPP loans, right? Stimulus money, loans they don't have to pay back. You and I, small business owners, we have to pay it back. If you got one of those loans, more than likely you got to pay it back. Some of them are forgivable. The EIDL, the small one, sure. But if you get some big, this next round of small business loans, you got to pay those back. Wall Street doesn't. The federal government just issues trillions. We're just increasing the war budget. Trump is going to get more money for war. They keep increasing Trump's war budget. One of those, I got some dumb video about QAnon. Oh, the global elites are trying to cut the military budget. Wow, they keep failing then. If this New World Order wants to cut the military, boy, they keep failing because the military-industrial complex is getting everything it wants thanks to the Democrats and the Republicans. Unbelievable. In this same vein of nonsense, the BLS, based on surveys of employers, reported this morning that the number of jobs jumped by 4.8 million in June. How? There's no way it jumped. I mean, what's because some states are partially opening, some people get their jobs back. It's not. I'm sorry. I can't breathe reading bullshit. Jobs jumped by $4.8 million. This flies in the face of the record 31.5 million people now receiving unemployment insurance under state and federal programs. Like, there's this 31.5 million people getting unemployment. That's just a hard number. And they're trying to play around. No, that tells you all you need to know. The difference between those actually receiving unemployment insurance, 31.5 million people, and those that the BLS claims are unemployed has today exploded to 13.7 million people. In other words, the BLS has underreported the number of unemployment by at least 13.7 million people. I'm sure it's a clerical error. I'm sure it's not to say it's not that bad. I'm sure there isn't somebody that Trump said, ooh, bring that number down. Something. It's hard to trust any of these numbers when both parties have a vested interest in the numbers moving in either direction. I can't trust any of these numbers because we have these two utterly corrupt political parties, a completely corrupt media, MSNBC, Fox, CNN, all completely corrupt. We have a completely corrupt judicial system. How can we trust anything? This is like banana republic kind of crap. We're not a country. We don't have government's jobs are to take care of its people. The evictions are starting to happen now. And some people are going to court, and it's like, well, the law, the CARES Act said you can't evict me. And the judges, many of them on the take, well, yeah, boom. Just like what happened with the mortgage crisis 10 years ago. Over 10 years ago, 2008, 2009. That's corrupt judges. People would be like, no, this government, both parties do not care about you. They don't care about you, man. They don't care about you. If this really was a government that cared about you, it would come in and it would have said $2,000 to $3,000 a month UBI. No one has to pay rent or something, or either give everybody, like do what they did in England, pay everybody's 80% of their wages. So if we're all getting the wages we were getting, okay, then sure, we can all pay rent. So you got to do one of those things. You have to give everybody what they were getting paid. Or you have to say you don't have to pay rent. Well, I mean, you can't just sit there and go, oh, you can't evict anybody. Even I've talked about this. So even if you don't pay rent for 3 or 4 months and then they open the country back up and you're finally going back to work, you still have to take that 4 months of not paying rent and you have a year to pay that off. So take whatever your rent is. Right? Is it $1,000 a month? In cities like LA and stuff, it's probably $2,000 a month. So let's say it's just 3 months. That's $6,000. You have to pay that off in 12 months. That's $500 a month. So now your $200 a month payment is $2,500 a month. How are you going to pay that off? Let's say you had some savings before the COVID-19. It's probably all gone now. Maybe you got some unemployment and that's keeping you afloat. Okay, but this is like, and they're just reporting these numbers, man, and then the dumb corporate media, well, they're not dumb, they're part of the scam, just, oh yeah, numbers are good, whatever. I can't trust any of them. I don't trust Trump. I don't trust the Democrats. I don't trust the Republican Party. I don't trust any of those idiots at Fox or CNN or MSNBC. I don't trust any of them. This pandemic has basically shown we're all on our own. Just good luck. Good luck. Good luck, folks. Thoughts and prayers. Hope you make it. Imagine if Bernie was the nominee. The whole country would be rallying around him right now. Everybody like, look, Bernie's going to win in November. He would have a 30-digit lead over... This rapist with dementia, Biden, has a lead over Trump. This is how badly Trump has handled this pandemic. That awful Joe Biden has a lead. Imagine if Bernie wouldn't have backed out, if he wouldn't have quit, if he would have called out the crimes of the Democratic Party and rallied his base to fight for him, which is what we all would have done had Bernie gone, they're cheating me. They're cheating me. If AOC would have said they're cheating, we'd be like, we're had enough with the Democratic Party. But no, they acquiesced to the power structure, so now we're all stuck with the lesser of two rapists. That's our big decision in November. All this month and a half of protests all over the country talking about defunding the police. The conversation is really expanding. People are really realizing, well, we need to defund the police, refund social programs. People are even starting to go, we need to defund the military. We need money for our own. Why are we spending all this money on military? Because everybody's seeing the economics are pretty much the same on the domestic level that they are on the federal level, right? We never have money for health care. We never have money for free college tuition, but we always have money for war. It's the same thing on the local level. Oh, we don't have money for public schools. We don't have money to help the homeless. We don't have money for affordable rent. We don't have money for drug treatment, but we have money to militarize the police department. Everyone would be rallying around Bernie, but he bailed. Him, Tulsi, AOC, they all bailed on us. So it's up to us. That's why we need to continue the pressure and the protesting. It needs to start at a local level. Because look what they're doing. They're just cooking the books. They're lying. They're doing whatever they're saying, whatever they can. I mean, Nancy Pelosi's too busy eating expensive ice cream out of one of her 2 freezers in her. She's worth $100 million. Did you know that? That is so corrupt. Mitch McConnell is corrupt. They're all pieces of shit. They're just horrible people. They're awful. They don't care. They need your vote and your donation. But even vote, do they really need it? Because the elections are all rigged. This cooking of the book sounds a lot like when Bernie had double-digit exit poll victories. And then in these precincts that used electronic voting machines that were proven way back in 2006 to be hackable and cheat. Oh, Joe Biden just miraculously won. Joe Mentum. Biden hysteria. What? I know people in all these states and activists and indie media people, I never saw anybody. There was no groundswell for Biden. I didn't see Biden signs everywhere. I didn't see a lot of people at his rallies. And yet he just mysteriously won after Bernie had double-digit exit poll victories. Way to go, corrupt system. So here's what you do, folks. A company decided to stop paying its drivers, so one of them parked his truck on the owner's Ferrari and left it there. There you go. There's a solution. Thanks for watching the show, folks. Support me any way you can. I know money's tight. However you can, I appreciate it. I know money's tight. Thanks for watching. Shave your knuckles for justice. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification button and the subscribe button, even if you've done it before, because they're unsubscribing, many of you, every day. Watch the ads all the way through. If you click skip ad, I don't get paid. Also, support us at patreon.com/Graham Elwood or rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. Rockfin.com is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. All my videos are on Rockfin ad-free. Thanks for watching.